Hey, good morning and welcome to our daily WBDC 730 Sports preview. The WBDC 730 Sports comes your way at the bottom of the hour on 100.9 FM WBDC, also WBDC.us on your computers, as well as WBDC in your TuneIn app, and that TuneIn app will let you take WBDC with you no matter where you go for sporting events, news, and just regular programming on WBDC. You can catch us anywhere that you want. Coming up this morning on our WBDC 730 Sports, we'll get into all the boys high school basketball from last night as all four DuBois County teams were in action last night. Southridge, a big win on the road at Gibson Southern, 59-57. The Raiders led for much of that game, but Gibson Southern actually took a lead after three, led in the fourth quarter before the game was tied at 57. The Titans had a chance with 11 seconds to go to win the ball game. They took a shot from inside the paint, came up empty. Raiders called a quick timeout with 4.8 seconds to go in that ball game. Raiders had the ball sidelined out of bounds about three-quarter court from their bucket. They inbound the ball to Garrett Vogel, and he raced up the floor, got into the paint, drew a little contact, put the ball up from about 8 feet, and he hit it for the game winner at the horn. And Southridge perhaps gets their best victory of the season against a pretty good Gibson Southern team that was 8-5, especially on the road, especially on a Thursday night, and got a lot of key contributions from a lot of different players. They had three guys in double figures. Joe LaGrange led the way with 16. He knocked down 3 threes, including a couple big ones in the fourth quarter for Southridge to help them get that win. So good win for the Raiders in enemy territory in Central Time late last night. Next up for Southridge, a day tomorrow afternoon against the Washington Hatchets. The Hatchets have struggled this year, but got a huge win last night against their arch rivals, the Vincennes Lincoln Alice's. Hall of Fame coach Gene Miller was ill during that game. He used to coach the Alice's way back when, but did not take part in the game. Brand Shuckman took over, and he gets the win for the Hatchets in that game, and I'm sure they are very happy with the result of that one, especially after not having a typical Washington season to go in there and beat Lincoln, who just beat Bossy the other night. So good win for Washington. They come to the gym tomorrow, HMG, for a 2:30 varsity start, 1 o'clock JV. Also last night, Bar Reeve rolls into Jasper off their loss to Pike Central. They shoot 18 of 23 from the field, Brian Hughes' team did, and they beat the Jasper Wildcats 57-50. Cats at home tomorrow with Heritage Hills. Forest Park goes on the road at Modern Day, and they lose to the Wildcats 63-62. And I guess there was some big-time controversy in that ball game as Modern Day hits a late three. They brought the ball in the length of the court, and I guess the clock didn't start right away. That allowed the Modern Day Wildcats to squeeze off that three and knock in the game winner, giving the Wildcats the win. But those two teams can meet up in the 2A sectional at Castle. So Modern Day and Forest Park, that was just round one. Round two could be later on, but a tough one for the Rangers. Northeast DuBois, a huge win last night. Well, not a huge win, but a large margin win, 66-34 in Bicknell against North Knox. Jeeps got off to a great start, 36-16 at the break, and went on from there. Also last night, Heritage Hills beats Boonville big 64-36. Again, Heritage Hills in against Jasper tomorrow afternoon. So that's a rundown of the boys basketball. We'll have a complete report this morning at 7:30. on WBDC. Girls basketball again takes center stage this evening. That's why all the boys' games were last night over on WBDC. Tonight we'll have game 2 from the A sectional at Wood Memorial. Northeast DuBois taking on Tecumseh. That's after Wood Memorial, the host, plays Candleton. Also in DuBois County tonight in 2A at Beekler, Tony Hassenauer's Forest Park Rangers will play game 2 against Mater Dei in that 2A sectional at Forest Park. That's after Tell City and North Posey. So a lot of basketball, girls tonight, boys last night, and more boys tomorrow afternoon. Golf at the Phoenix Open. Bill Haas had a great afternoon to start the Waste Management Open out there in the desert. 7 under 64. A slew of players at 66. So that continues today. On Saturday and on Sunday. It was craziness once again at the 16th, the stadium hole. Even on a Thursday afternoon, people were screaming and yelling and drinking a lot of alcohol. So that provides a great setting for golf that you normally don't see. College basketball coming up tomorrow. Indiana at home. They're taking on the Michigan State Spartans. That's a night game on ESPN, so another opportunity for the Hoosiers to do something. Also, Pacer basketball tonight. Indiana in at Charlotte take on the Hornets. Still no Cody Zeller for the Hornets. Pacers took care of the Hornets back in Indy on Monday night, so another chance again for the Pacers to get another win and increase their win total as they head toward the playoffs at the end of the season. Of course, Super Bowl Sunday. Looks like Rob Gronkowski will play. He was under concussion protocol, but as you would expect, Gronk will play on Sunday against Nick Foles and the Eagles up in a very frigid Minneapolis, Minnesota, although the game is inside, as you know, so you don't have to worry about that. Some baseball. The Cubs signed free agent outfielder Peter Borges. He spent a lot of time with the Cardinals. Also a long-time American League player, so he's going to try to make the Cubs roster as a minor league free agent. Played with Tampa Bay last year. So a lot going on the Friday WBDC 730 Sports. Again, reviewing all the boys' high school basketball and that huge win at the Horn by Southridge. It doesn't get any better for a player or the fans or anybody else than those buzzer beaters, and that's exactly what happened last night at Titan Fieldhouse. Have a complete rundown of that. Also, Forest Park, Jasper, Northeast DuBois reviews as well, plus looking at the girls' basketball for tonight, too. So it's all coming up this morning on the WBDC 730 Sports. Hope you can all join us for that.